So, what is your name?
I'm Maida. Big Or.
Very nice. And what is, or to you personally, I guess, what is Sangam X Junon?
Oh, like the event?
Yeah.
It's like a culture show where a bunch of Indian people perform Indian acts. I don't know.
Nice. Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah, so is that like your description in your own words, like what you...
Okay, I guess it's like a show celebrating Indian culture and promoting awareness of various aspects of Indian culture.
Okay. Nice. So what was your favorite performance of the show?
I really like the Ross performance, the one with the sticks. Do you remember that?
Or could you describe what it is, I guess, to...
Oh, it's like this traditional, like, Gujarati dance thing, I don't know, style, called Ross/Garba, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, and then it was like, they use like sticks, they like kind of twirl them, they do some other things, I don't know, I thought it was pretty, it's very festive.
So you thought, I guess, that was the most unique of the event?
All of them are unique.
Yeah, true, but I guess, what made that one stand out?
I don't know, I just like the style and I like the music, but I like all of them a lot. I guess that was unique because a lot of them were like in Hindi, and then one of them was in, actually that wasn't in a language, but it's like a different style from South India, and I guess I was like the only one from that region. It just happens to have good music.
Cool. So, and one more question, I guess. How do you think, I guess, I'm sure you saw like a lot of different types of clothing during the show. How do you think that kind of style of unique clothing, or like Indian quote-unquote clothing, kind of affected their performance and kind of affected their identity? Yeah. So you know how like a lot of times clothing can be like reflective of traditional culture or like history or stuff like that. So how do you think the, I guess, different types of clothing you saw at the show kind of reflected that, or kind of what do you think it showed about their culture specifically,
like,
or Indian
the
culture?
performers' culture?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, or where they're coming from, like their background.
I guess actually not all the performers are Indian, so like that's a part of it, and also it's like a South Asian culture show, so like, again, not all of them are Indian, and that too, like, India is really diverse in its culture, like they're very different sects of Indian, so like, you can kind of see, because like one of the dance performances like had kind of American-y clothing. They had like leggings and a crop top, and then the other ones, like, they had Indian clothes, more casual ones, and the other ones had like classical Indian dance clothes that are very different looking. So I guess it kind of just shows what part of the culture they're trying to express.
Because it's so diverse.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, not everyone who's wearing the clothing are from that culture.
Yeah.
So I don't actually.
No,
it's not exactly pertinent to their own background, but they're obviously involved in celebrating that culture.
Celebrating the culture, celebrating Sangam, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Camera. Sweet. So, go ahead whenever you're ready. So, what's your name?
I'm Manir Bhavanaka. People know me as Manny.
And what is... Oh, sorry, wait. How do you pronounce the show name? Is it...
Ek Junoon.
Ek Junoon?
Junoon, yeah.
Junoon, okay.
Ek Junoon.
Ek Junoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is Ek Junoon?
Ek Junoon was Sangam... Oh, wait, can I start over?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll just edit it afterwards, yeah.
Sangam is an Indian student... Sorry. Should I describe what Sangam was?
Yeah, both, like, I guess, like, what it is, also just in general, and also, like, what it is to you, I guess, personally.
Okay. Sangam's Ek Junoon was a culture show that Sangam put on. Sangam is an Indian student organization on campus that has been around for, like, around 30 years. And this was our annual culture show, and every year it has a different title, and this year's was Ek Junoon, and I don't know what that means in Hindi, but, yeah. And for me personally, culture show every year means a lot because it brings together all the communities and showcases the both teams and individualistic talents that the Indian community has, and really puts on a show for like the entire campus. And yeah, that's why it means a lot to me.
Dang, nice. And what group were you part of?
I was part of UCSD Sitare. We're an a cappella group.
So you already mentioned what your group was. What makes your group, I guess, unique, I guess, on campus and just like in general?
Well, there are a lot of a cappella groups on campus, but what makes ours stand out is that we've in a lot of our songs are mashups of Bollywood and classical Indian songs with American classics, and we even have some songs that are strictly American and strictly Indian, so that are not mashups. And so I feel like what makes us unique is that we cover both types of music, you know?
Mm-hmm. So like combining the two cultures,
yeah, combining the two cultures.
And so I guess kind of going along those lines, I guess what type of clothing do you wear specifically, and how does that kind of play into this, if at all?
For a lot of our performances, we do wear traditional Indian clothing, and a lot of other performances we just stick with dress shirt, or like dresses for girls, or like dress shirt and slacks for guys, because that might sound American, but it's pretty much a universal dress code that works for like any type of event.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess like when you wear the traditional clothing, is it for any specific occasion, or is it just like whatever you guys are feeling
usually
that
when
day?
we're performing for an occasion that's like an Indian holiday, or like an Indian national holiday, that we sometimes there's the Indian student organizations on campus, they throw events for these holidays. So like when we perform for a specific occasion that's like an Indian holiday, then we try to dress up as in Indian clothes.
Great. Yeah. Cool. Sweet, man. Thanks.
Yep, thanks
a lot.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other? There you go. So what's your name?
My name's Ashwini Krishnan.
Yeah.
my name's Ashwini Krishnan.
Nice. Okay. And in your opinion, what is Sangam Ek Junoon?
It's basically a cultural festival where we present various Indian dances and songs, and it's just kind of a way for us American Indians at UCSD to show others about our culture and what we've been doing through the year to reinforce our culture.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Does it hold any like significance to you personally?
Not personally. I guess it's just a way for us to show each other how we've been upholding our culture through our dance and our music. So I think that's just the main relevance that it has to me. It's just a time for us all to bond over our culture.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And so what group are you a part of?
I'm part of Sitare, which is our South Asian a cappella team. And we basically do Bollywood and American mashups.
Nice. So, what makes you already mentioned it partly, but could you kind of go more in depth about, what makes this group unique, I guess, compared to like all the other acapella groups?
Definitely. So, as far as I know, I think actually we have 7 a cappella teams on campus, and I think 5 of them are specifically just for American music. So they're your regular radio songs, and I think one of them is more of a religious a cappella team. But Sitare is different because we're a specific South Asian a cappella team. We accept people from like different parts. So we have like members who are not Indian, definitely, but the type of songs that we do are specifically Indian songs mashed up with American songs. So it's just kind of a way, again, for us to bond and share Indian culture with each other, and also develop that through music.
Nice. So yeah, you're talking about kind of how, I guess, you blend Indian culture with, I guess, like contemporary American culture.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of dress, because I know, like for a lot of Asian cultures, there's like a specific type of dress for traditional cultures. So for your group, do you ever incorporate kind of ethnic, quote unquote, type of clothing, and if so, like what does that reflect on, I guess, your group and as Indian culture as a whole?
So it may seem like South Asian a cappella is maybe not common, but you'd be surprised that I think actually every college has its own South Asian a cappella team. So we all have like competitions and stuff. So we just actually went to Dallas for a competition at the end of spring quarter. It was the South Asian a cappella competition, and all the teams there, including us, had to wear Indian clothes during that performance. And we wore kind of like a skirt and a top with this, it's called a dupatta. It's basically kind of like the top of a sari. And yeah, I'm not wearing that right now because I don't have it with me, but that's usually what we would wear for our performances because that's a traditional South Indian clothing.
Okay, so excuse me. So,
I mean that's for girls.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Just to
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah.
But so or do you ever? I guess like so during your performance, do you always wear the same thing, or do you ever
We
kind of
usually don't
mix
have
it
time
up?
to change.
Okay.
Is that what you're
Or
asking?
I meant like between different performances. Like do you, or throughout the year, do you wear like the same thing to
Oh,
each
okay.
performance,
Okay.
or do you ever like vary between performances?
I think we would all like to vary, but the thing is that we do have a limited budget and a limited amount that we could spend on clothes, and these clothes can tend to get kind of expensive, especially if you're shipping them from India. So typically, we I think we would just have one year.
Okay,
So,
nice,
yeah.
nice. And I guess. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but we would like vary the colors and designs and stuff between years just to have a change. Yeah.
So I guess like one last question is within I guess like modern contemporary American culture,
Yeah.
how would you say like Indian clothing I guess plays a role or significance, or like does it still hold any relevance within like today's society? You would
You
say?
mean in not particular to my acapella team in general?
Yeah, just in general, like
Okay.
the stuff that you might wear or the stuff that other groups might have worn at the during Sangam. Yeah, in your opinion, like
yeah,
what do you feel?
definitely. During Sangam, by the way, is our Indian cultural group on campus. So during most of the Sangam events, we wear saris and traditional Indian clothing. But in terms of being an Indian American and the relevance of the clothing in modern society, usually we just wear clothing during religious events. When everyone else is wearing it during daily life, clothing doesn't really play as big of a part in our heritage.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
Hi, my name's Apurva Mishra.
Nice. And in your opinion, what is Ik Junoon?
So Ek Junoon is culture. Well, it was the name of the culture show this year. We've been Sangam as a organization has been doing culture show for now 23 years out of the 29 years that we've existed. So it's something we do every single year. We put on different performances. Each class has its own act where they generally have like a dance routine set up. Then we also have a dance routine based from like the old times, like from like old Indian movies and stuff. And then also like we have we have different dance teams also perform, and the Indian acapella group. So it's basically where we bring the Indian community, especially like the Indian community together, the South Asian people, have them put on a show where we can just show off our talents to the rest of the UCSD students.
Nice. And so what performance group were you part of, or how were you kind of like associated with Sangam?
So this whole year, I've been a freshman representative for Sangam, and so I've been helping putting on different events. So I was part of the staff, which helped put on the whole like culture show this past weekend, and I was also part of the freshman act, the freshman classes act, where we basically danced for about like 6 minutes. Yeah.
Nice. So you said you're part of the freshman dance team. So I guess what makes your performance unique? I guess your dance group unique.
So we had actually in our group of like 20 people, we had a lot of first time people who were like dancing, including myself. Like I had never danced on stage before. We also had like a couple people, or we actually had people from different dance teams on campus. We had some people from the Ross team, as well as UCSD Zor. So they brought their talents. Our performance was unique, I believe, because we had like many different elements. We had some like hip hop in there. We had some like Bollywood like dancing, along with some like North Indian specific dancing, along with some South Indian like flavor as well. So like we tried to like bring all of India together in our dance routine.
Nice. So yeah. So I know like you say like it's a culture show, right? So in your style of dancing, I know sometimes you include like cultural or ethnic, quote unquote, style clothing. So how does that kind of play a role within your show and within kind of your Indian heritage?
So it wasn't very like, I'd say like, to be very honest, it wasn't very clear. Like the clothing wasn't like very ethnic in like the freshman act classes performance, but especially like old schools act, like where they were like dancing to like old music, as well as the South Indian act. These two, like they were like really like both of these acts had like very traditional clothing, things that you would expect Indian people to wear. Like the South Indians, they had they had very specific South Indian clothing. I'm blanking on the name right now, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had those. Then like the Ross team had their own like specific clothing. So yeah, like it's just like it's to show like not only like the specific clothings from like different parts of India, because India is so diverse that there's a lot of different types of clothing. You can't like narrow it down to like one specific like dress code or anything. So the different parts of India we showed through like the dance teams and some of the acts as well.
Nice. And I guess like with these type of clothings, I guess within like contemporary American culture, does that type of clothing play a role at all, or is it just specifically for this kind of more traditional kind of throwback kind of dancing?
I think, to be very honest, like in the contemporary like American culture, it's not as prominent. I'd say a little bit more prominent in like the Indian American culture, but it's kind of like as an Indian American living here, it's kind of like dying out. Obviously, because you're more influenced by like the people around you and like the American culture more than like the Indian culture back home. So yeah, like most like you'd see most of this like in like throwback situations or like when you go into the temple, things like that. Like where like you have to be like very ethnically oriented, like you're like very into your culture at those points. But yeah, in like the current Indian American or American culture, you wouldn't really like see it as much.
Great, thanks.